Well, welcome everybody. So whether you're joining us live or watching the recording, we're so glad that you joined us to learn more about expedition cruising with Aurora Expeditions. We are Suzanne and Steve Clausen. Say hi, Steve.
Howdy.
With CruiseOne in Show Low, Arizona. And I'm going to introduce our special guest. We have Bonnie from Aurora Expeditions. She is the National Accounts Manager, and we work very closely with her. She was the one that helped us set up our great discount pricing. So if you could say hello, Bonnie.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks, Bonnie. So our agenda tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about the expedition experience. We're going to talk about the itinerary visiting Antarctica. Then we're going to show you a little bit about the ship. And then we'll have some highlights from our Arctic cruise, because that's the whole reason we chose Aurora Expeditions for Antarctica, because we had such an amazing experience. As a matter of fact, I am wearing my I Survived the Polar Plunge t-shirt. And then at the very end, we'll have our discount pricing. So we'll go ahead and move on. I just want to introduce our agency. Steve and I are full-time travel professionals. We are very proactive, meaning that we go out there and we find deals that we think our clients will love. And then we use our experience and knowledge to help deliver unmatched cruise and vacation experience for all of our clients. I work on behalf of my clients. I'll let you know something that I get paid a commission by the cruise line, but your price is the same whether you use me or not. So that commission is actually built into the price, even if you don't use a travel agent. And when you work with me, you've got all my years of professionalism and experience to help planning, because there's a lot of details to work out, getting you down to Buenos Aires, getting you to Ushuaia, getting your pre and post cruise, everything set up. That's what I come in for, and that's where I help out. So you really, if you're going to book an experience like this, you need a professional to help guide you. I'm easy to reach. You can text, telephone me, email me almost 24/7. And again, I work for you, my clients, but I get paid by the cruise lines. So I like to do this little introduction is what is an expedition style cruise, because it's completely different from a traditional cruise. On a traditional cruise, you've got formal nights, you've got gala evenings, you have entertainment almost 24/7. And it's really, you're on like a floating resort with 2,000 to 5,000 of your best friends. An expedition cruise, like on Aurora, they actually, when they go to the polar regions, they have less than 100 people. So it's a small group. They have these modern purpose-built icebreaker ships, and it's all about the destination. It's about getting completely immersed in that destination and experiencing everything it has to offer. So it's really focused on the wildlife and the natural beauty of where you're visiting. We are extremely happy to introduce the expedition experience to our clients. Steve and I have been on over 65 traditional cruise experiences, visiting all 7 continents. And we've organized and hosted 2 groups to Antarctica on a traditional scenic sailing ship. And it was perfect for some of our guests. I mean, my 82-year-old mom, that was good for her. She didn't want to get out and walk amongst the penguins. But a lot of people on that cruise said, boy, Suzanne, we'd really like to come back here on an expedition and do the full experience. And as a matter of fact, we have quite a few guests from our 2020 and 2023 group cruise that are already booked on this one with us, because they wanted to have that full white continent experience. So here's, Steve and I on a traditional cruise. We're all dressed up for gala night. And our very first expedition was last summer in Svalbard, which is a very, very high Arctic archipelago. And since then, we've done the Arctic again. We've done a Galapagos. We did Iceland with Nat Geo. I mean, but when it comes down to what we feel like is the best expedition company, it hands down is going to be Aurora Expedition. So here's... people ask, well, can I do an expedition cruise? I always say you need to be mobile, but not necessarily fit. If you can play a round of golf or shop till you drop on Black Friday, you can do an expedition cruise. It's not that exerting. And they have different activities for different fitness levels. So you can walk along the shore, you can hike up a mountain, whichever works best for you. Some people just do the Zodiac rides. They ride around the Zodiac and go back to the ship. So there's a little bit of something for every fitness level. And now I have, you know what I need to do? I need to share my screen so that the video will be correct. So let me start my screen share again, because I'm going up to a video. So I want to share the sound and I'm going to share the video clip. So share. All right. And now I'm going to go to the next slide, which has a little video clip on it.
Change your presentation. Change your presentation.
The wrong view. Okay. All right. I shared the wrong screen. Let me. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. It certainly shows what the Aurora Expeditions experience is all about. And so now I get to introduce our special group cruise that we are hosting in February of 2026. It's on the Aurora Expeditions Greg Mortimer. It's a 13-day across the Antarctic Circle expedition round trip from Ushuaia, Argentina. And why we chose Aurora Expeditions. We mentioned a lot of these points earlier: the destination immersion, the 100-passenger capacity in the polar regions, the exclusive contracted group savings that they gave us, and the environmental stewardship, and of course, our incredible experience with them in the Arctic back last summer. So I'm going to introduce Bonnie now, and she's going to take over and share a little bit more with you about Aurora Expeditions.
Great. Thanks, Suzanne. Well, great. So I am super excited to talk to you about Aurora Expeditions and what really makes us different. There are a lot of companies out there, and every company is a little bit different in what they offer and what the experience is all about. So going back to our roots, we've been around for 33 years. We're an Australian company, so we're lots of fun. We were founded by Greg Mortimer. He's a legendary adventurer in Australia. He was the first to climb Mount Everest without supplemental oxygen. And he and his wife, Margaret, started taking their friends down to Antarctica, and it kind of snowballed, and that's how Aurora Expeditions was founded. So we're very experienced in the polar regions. And when you're talking about going to very remote places, it's really important to go with a company that has the experience behind them. Last year, we became certified B Corp. And if you don't know what that is, it's really a global movement that has to do with sustainability efforts, but not just what we do on board, but it's across all of our business practices. We are the only company on the water to have this certification, and there's only 8,000 companies worldwide to have been able to achieve this. So it's something that we're really, really proud of. And you'll see when you're on board, it's not just, the single-use plastics and things like that, but it also has to do with where we source our food. Everything is sustainable and organic on board. We are all about education and enrichment. So these are some of the citizen science programs that we're currently involved in, and all of our guests can participate in the phytoplankton, like collecting phytoplankton. And phytoplankton is really important, and it's what the krill feed on, and it's super important. And I never knew really what phytoplankton was all about. And so by participating in these different programs, you really learn about it and how everything affects the environment. We also do cleanups like on the bottom right-hand side. So it's our way of giving back to the communities that we visit. And these are a couple of our guests doing the microplastics project there. So when you're on board an Aurora Expeditions, Zodiac cruises, walks and hikes, the photography, all the lectures, the polar plunge, visiting historical sites, and of course the citizen science program that I just talked about, all of that's included. But if you're really feeling active and you want to enhance your expedition, we do offer on some of our voyages camping, kayaking, scuba diving, snorkeling, skiing, snowshoeing. So there's a lot of optional activities that you can add on to your expedition.
And I want to just add that this particular cruise, because of the time of year, the 2 additional add-ons that you can do with Aurora Expeditions are the kayaking and the snorkeling. And Bonnie, you can explain the kayaking a little better than I can.
Yeah, so on all of our activities, you don't have to be experts. We do, the briefings, we provide all of the gear. So here the kayakers are getting ready to go out. They've got their dry suits, which we provide, the gloves. We fit each guest to their kayak, so that kayak is their kayak for the whole trip. There I am on the right in the front. So I got to experiencing the kayak program when I was down there a couple of years ago. It's really fun. And these are the snowshoers that were on my trip. And I think I've got some snorkelers. Yeah, so these are some snorkelers. And, how great is it to, come back and talk to your friends and family about snorkeling or kayaking in the Antarctic region. It's really unique and once in a lifetime. And then, of course, our expert guide. So depending on where we are in the world, we are going to have the pertinent ologist, so glaciologist, historian, ornithologist. So we have a whole team of expert guides, and they are going to be your leaders. They're going to talk to you about the destination, what you're seeing. They also dine with our guests. So you get to know them. They want to get to know you. Everybody becomes a big family on board because we're also very, very small. Our guide to guest ratio is 1 guide for every 7 guests, which is actually really, really good. On any one of our voyages, our expedition team have over 100 years of combined experience, and we're seeing more and more female expedition leaders as well. So that's kind of a new trend now. We currently have 2 ships. So the Greg Mortimer came out in 2019, and then the Sylvia Earle came out in 2022. So the trip that Suzanne and Steve are hosting is going to be on the Greg Mortimer. And they're very similar ships. One thing I did want, go ahead. Sorry, Steve.
So you've got a 3rd ship coming too.
Yes, we have a 3rd ship coming out at the end of 2025 called the Douglas Moss. And so all 3 ships will be very similar. One thing I wanted to point out, and this is really what differentiates Aurora from all the other companies out there, is, there's a lot of rules and regulations in Antarctica. 2 of them have to do with the size of the ship. So any ship that has more than 500 passengers can't stop in Antarctica. So Steve and Suzanne experienced that on their last trip down there. Aside from that, only 100 passengers can be ashore from a vessel at any time. So we're able to get everybody off the ship at the same time. Everybody has that same experience, where other companies will split you into groups of 2 or 3, and then you rotate. So you're actually getting more time in the destination by going on Aurora expeditions. So here is the Greg Mortimer. Here's another picture. And you see the weird nose in the front. It looks like an upside down hull. It's called the X-bow, and we're one of the designers of the X-bow. It's a lot more fuel efficient and a lot smoother when you're going across rougher waters, in addition to our stabilizers as well. So it's really a unique feature. And all of our ships have the X-bow. This is what our standard balcony stateroom looks like. The beds can be pushed together like you're seeing here, or pulled apart to make 2 twin beds. Really, really comfortable space. The bathrooms have the heated floors, so you can dry your gloves or socks after your morning outing. But it's also nice just to step onto a heated floor after your shower as well. This is our lecture theater. So this is where everybody before dinner will come for a briefing, and you'll do a recap, and they'll tell you what's going on the next day. It's a real comfortable space, and there's a bar right outside, so people get their cocktails and then come in for the recap and briefing. And this is the library on the Greg Mortimer. So there's lots of different books that you can use. A lot of them have, are related to Antarctica or the different destinations that you're sailing in.
And a lot of them are like picture book, coffee table books. So it's something you can pick up and just kind of flip through and read a couple pages, and really get a feel of some of the original explorers that went to Antarctica.
Yep, and this is our gym. Really, really nicely equipped gym. The equipment's all brand new. And the mud room. So this is kind of the heartbeat of the ship, and this is where all the excitement starts. So when you are on one of our expeditions, you'll get a locker. So it's your locker for the entire voyage. And we provide those muck boots. You don't have to rent them. So those are complimentary. You can leave your life vests here, anything else that you want to leave here and not take up to your room. It's perfectly fine. But this is where you gear up. When they call you down, you gear up, and then the excitement starts, and then you just get on your Zodiac. And we can get everybody off the ship in about 20 to 25 minutes. So it's really fast.
Yeah, and it's nice that you can store your life vest there. We've been on other expedition cruises where you get issued one life vest. There's not another one in your room or someplace else on the ship for you. So you have to haul your life vest back and forth from your room. It's really nice that you're able to store them here in the mud room.
Yep, and then we have our Zodiac. So we have 15 that we use and 2 on reserve. So you can see those off the back of the ship. And we have a floating platform off the back. And this is where we typically will do the polar plunge, or we load the kayaks from this marina on the back. And we have our fun barbecue and hat parties on board. So here you see a group of our guests just having so much fun from the barbecue night there. We also have 2 jacuzzis on this ship. So it's really, really nice just to sit there and watch the scenery go by.
And what I want to point out is another great innovation that Aurora Expedition has. You see there's this little pocket on this man's sleeve. That's where you put your key card that has a little barcode on it, and it's how you get scanned in and out of the ship. So you don't have to pull it out of your pocket, get it scanned, and put it back. It's already there. You just put your wrist up, and they scan it. So another way that makes it more efficient getting on and off the ship to get on those Zodiacs.
Yeah. So again, what makes this different is our positive impact travel, our small ships. that are purpose-built for these remote destinations. We're all about education and enrichment. Because we're small, we have more time off the ship. We also have the world's leading activity program, and of course, our expert guides that are really second to none. They are amazing. And these are all the destinations that we go to in Antarctica. The closest is going to be from Argentina to the Peninsula. So you'll see there. With our new ship, we are offering East Antarctica from New Zealand. So that's a little bit different. But this is the closest area to Antarctica is from Argentina. What you can expect to see while you're there are the Gentoo penguins, the Adelie penguins, the chin straps. Those are the three most popular. Some of the other islands, the subantarctics, will have the crested penguins and things like that. But on this particular sailing, you'll see the Gentoos, Adelies, and chin straps. Leopard seals, lots of whales this time of year. So you'll see a lot of minke and humpback whales. Orcas are out this time of year as well. So you'll see a wide variety of wildlife. And those are the Gentoos with the orange feet and the seals.
Kayaking. This is a good picture to show how the landings work.
Yeah, this is great. So what we do, so from the ship, you'll get on the Zodiac, and then we'll take you to a landing site. Our team goes out in advance and, creates the pathways to make it easier for our guests. And then we pull the Zodiac right up on the shore, and then you disembark the Zodiac. There's a certain way to do it, and they'll tell you how to do it. But yes,
it's really easy.
It's easy. Yeah. And we also include a pre-voyage accommodation. So day one is going to be in a hotel. And then on the way to the ship, we'll do a half-a-day sightseeing tour the following day. We do include the round-trip airport transfers as well. And while you're on board, all the excursions are included, house drinks with dinner. We have Starlink Wi-Fi complimentary. Everybody gets their 3-in-1 waterproof expedition jacket, which they get to keep with them. Complimentary use of the muck boots, which I just mentioned. We do have a professional photographer on every voyage, and they take pictures throughout the voyage. There's a slideshow at the end. They also put all their photos onto a shared computer, and you're able to just grab those photos onto a hard drive if you want, or a USB stick. And then all port charges, permits, and landing fees are also included.
There's nothing like being on a Zodiac and ice flows like that. Really, really good.
It's incredible. It's incredible. Well, now we get to show you a little bit of our personal experience from the Arctic. And this is the reason we chose Aurora Expeditions for the Antarctic. So we were on the Sylvia Earle, which is the sister ship. And I'll go through this very quickly. That's where we went. That's where Svalbard is. There's Iceland, Norway, Greenland, all there. We had such an amazing time. Steve talked about being in those Zodiacs, sailing around those glaciers. It's absolutely stunning. So whether it's a foggy day or a sunny day, it's still incredible. This is an example. You can see the kind of scenery. There's the kayakers, there's the Zodiacs. We all kind of travel together. Just, beautiful, beautiful scenery. These are the Arctic guillemots. Those are the birds you see in up north. We'll see penguins, of course, in Antarctica. And these are some ice floes with, I think, some seals and walrus on them. So we'll see things like this, like ice floes with the seals and the different marine mammals on them. We saw blue whales and beluga whales. Of course, in Antarctica, we're going to see the humpbacks, the minkies, and the orcas. Just an amazing experience. And I'm wearing my T-shirt. There's the picture, the proof. I actually did the polar plunge. I actually do recommend wearing the life jacket. I think I was maybe one or two other people wore the life jacket, but you don't go as far under the water if you wear the life jacket. So that's, I was afraid I was going to be so cold I'd forget how to swim. So I did it. I was proud of myself. there's our evening barbecue. We had such a good time. Everybody was really, it's really a friendly, jovial atmosphere. You know, the people you meet are wonderful. And don't forget about the food, because the food is pretty darn amazing and the service is really good. Most of the crew are international crew, either from India, Indonesia, the Philippines. A lot of them have worked on the really big cruise lines, and this is such a treat for them to go to these exotic destinations and have a smaller ship. The food is fantastic. There's a specialty dining restaurant that's kind of on this one, it's Italian, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, there's an Italian restaurant, and then there's the main dining room, and you just need to make a reservation for the specialty one. There's no extra charge for it. It's just a little separate seating area there. And then, of course, the barbecue up top is wonderful. Here's some more of the beautifully presented food and dessert. I mean, it was just lovely. And the next slide I have, it just shows what it's like getting on and off the Zodiacs. You've got somebody behind you helping you. You see that gentleman handing the bag out. You get onto the Zodiac, you sit down. You just need to be able to take a couple of steps. And the Zodiacs are very stable and maneuverable. As a matter of fact, on the recent expedition cruise we did in Iceland, the ship couldn't get into the dock because it was too windy. And they said, oh, we're just going to Zodiac in. So that's how stable. If it's too windy to dock, you can still take a Zodiac in. So very, very comfortable, a great way to explore things. There's our expedition team from the Arctic cruise. They just do a fantastic job. They were so friendly, just cordial, really interesting. And like Bonnie said, they dine with us. So, we had a chance to talk to Howard, who was the expedition leader. He's right there. He actually was a cameraman on Greg Mortimer's ascent of Mount Everest. He also did some pre-production camera work in Antarctica for the movie Happy Feet. So a very interesting team of people there with Aurora Expeditions. And just a summary of our experience, it was completely different, life-changing. We wholeheartedly recommend Aurora Expeditions, and we are so excited to be going to Antarctica in 2026 with them. This gives you an idea of what the itinerary is going to look like. They never are very specific about it, and the reason is that it's all weather and sea conditions dependent, and they're going to go to places where the weather is going to be the most optimal for us to have an amazing experience ashore in Antarctica. There's again is what the rooms look like. So our cruise is February 21st to March 5th, 2026. It's on the Greg Mortimer. And this gives you an idea. You arrive in Ushuaia, you have an overnight stay at a hotel, and then you have those days in Antarctica. You do have the Drake Passage crossing, and you never know what you're going to get. It could be the Drake Lake or the Drake Shake, but this ship is definitely built to cross that. You can see again that Ulcine X bow, which is just so amazing. It's actually made to cut through the waves rather than bouncing off of them. You get easy access points on and off the Zodiacs because it's purpose built. It's very fuel efficient, and it is a polar 1A, it's an ice class 1A polar code 6, and it's fully compliant with all the safety of life at sea requirements and equipment. So these are the triple occupancy room, and I believe only the triple is available, and it needs to be booked with 2 other people on the booking that they really don't like to do this as a triple share, but a single triple cabin is still available. You just need to grab 2 of your best friends, join you in that cabin. This is again the balcony cabin. The difference is the location of this on the ship, and a couple of them have a little larger balconies. Our category C is sold out. We have 1 category B remaining, but we have 3 in our inventory until September 30th. So we have some that are not available to the general public because we have an amazing contract with Aurora. Bonnie did such a good job of putting it together and giving us great competitive prices for our clients. This is just going to give you a little idea of some of the other rooms. This is a superior balcony. The junior suite is a 2-room suite. And then there's the captain's suite, which is a larger 2-room suite. Here's a good picture of the deck plan. So you can kind of see that the rooms are located on deck 3, 4. This is where all your public areas are on deck 5. And then you've got deck 6. Deck 7 has the bridge and a couple of cabins. And then deck 8 is where you have your enclosed observation deck, as well as your outdoor observation deck. And here's a look at the pricing. So we can't thank Bonnie enough for giving us such great pricing for this cruise. We got exclusive 25% discounts off the 2025 rates, and the 2026 rates were higher when we leased. So it's very, very exclusive pricing. These cabins that you see that are available, and I'll show them to you, we've sold 7 of the Cs. We have 3 of the category Bs available, and we have 1 of the category A. There's still also availability in the larger size cabins as well. And we again have a nice discounted price over Aurora Direct. This gives you an idea of the savings per person. This is your price per person based on double occupancy, except for the triple room, that's based on triple occupancy. So let's talk about all the inclusions. All airport transfers, 1-night hotel stay in Ushuaia, onboard accommodations during the voyage, of course, meals, beer and wine and soft drinks with dinner. And I think Bonnie said they just added soft drinks 24/7 or whenever the bars are open, they're included for free.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have a couple of receptions, where they have champagne and everybody has a little party. All shore excursions and Zodiac cruises are included. Of course, that wonderful expedition team. You get complimentary access to the doctor. You get your jacket. You get muck boots, and this is really cool. Complimentary Starlink Wi-Fi, and it is pretty darn good for being in these remote parts of the world. You'll get pretty good Wi-Fi reception, and then you got to think there's only 100 passengers using that bandwidth, so it's not going to be super slowed down by thousands of passengers using it. And of course, we include the port charges, permits, all the landing fees that are required. Additional costs, if you want to do either the snorkeling or kayaking, you sign up for the whole trip. There's an additional cost for that. We also suggest either adding an additional night in Ushuaia or 1 or 2 nights in Buenos Aires, just for the logistical purposes. And I'll talk about that when I get to the flights slides. And then alcoholic beverages outside of either a party or mealtime are included, but at very reasonable prices. And they have good wines too, because they're from Australia, and it's important to have good wines if you're from Australia. So wanted to give you a little idea of what the flights look like getting to Buenos Aires. So you can fly directly from JFK to Buenos Aires. It's about a 10-hour and 15-minute flight. You can fly directly from Dallas, about $1,100, price, length of time. Miami is the shortest flight, it's 9 hours. And then if you do a flight from Phoenix and you connect through Dallas, I priced it out. It's about $930 for the economy coach. You pretty much have to stay the night in Buenos Aires because you need to book a separate from Buenos Aires to Ushuaia, but that's very reasonably priced. There are hotel rooms in Buenos Aires. We can find a good 4-star or, like a Holiday Inn at the airport for $200 per night. So that's a reasonable expense to add on. And then your flights to Ushuaia round trip from Buenos Aires are going to be about, under $200. And then if you want to go directly to Ushuaia, the only gateway where you can book it with one airline and one connection is from Miami right now. Now that may change when we're able to book for 2026. And Aerolíneas Argentinas is the only one that offers that. If you try to do it from other cities, it adds so much to the price. You're better off just booking it as 2 tickets. So our available cabins are starting to dwindle. Now is the time to book. So if you call me with your full guest profile information, I'll block a room for you. I'll send you a detailed invoice, then you can review it. A $2,500 deposit per person is due within 7 days. That is non-refundable, but Aurora will try to work with you if there's a pressing reason why you can't take the cruise. They're going to try to work with you to move that deposit to another sailing, but they don't guarantee it. It's not guaranteed. It's at Aurora's discretion. The final payment is not due until 90 days before sailing. You know, there's some expedition companies that require you to pay a full year in advance. You're also required to get $250,000 of emergency evacuation travel protection coverage. I've looked into that. You can buy it through a third-party supplier. We don't sell a policy. Aurora doesn't. And this is for your protection that they have this requirement. And that policy, depending on your age and you know what else is included in the policy, it could be about $75 to $300 per person. In March of 2025, maybe April, we'll be able to add air and hotel arrangements. We're planning on doing one night in Buenos Aires, and I'll see if I can get a block at the hotel there. We love the Hilton Buenos Aires. I've had block space there before. And then we're recommending that you spend one night in Buenos Aires, and then just for logistics, maybe come that extra night into Ushuaia, and we'll book the hotel through Aurora. So we don't have to change rooms or hotel. But then we know that we're in Ushuaia, we're not going to miss the ship. And if there is any kind of flight delay or anything, we have, you know, almost 3 days to get caught up. So we'd love for you to join us. Again, the date is February 21st to March 5th, 2026 on the Greg Mortimer, and I'll go review those prices again. We do have availability in category B and category A, and then if you have 2 people that want to go with you, we can put you in the triple room. Aurora does have something called single share, whereas if you're willing to share your room, the beds would be, of course, split apart into twin beds with a person of the same gender. They will match you up with a roommate in the cabin, and you get this lovely room, 2 of you in there. You get it all to yourself. You get just the 2 of you. The beds are split apart. It's very comfortable. But if you want to do it by yourself and don't have a roommate, it's 150% single supplement. So you take one of these prices, add another 50% to it, and that gives you your total price. We do have some people that are doing single share, both male and female in our group, and some people that are doing single occupancy in our group as well. So we have a little bit of everything.
So that's why Aurora Expeditions has always treated those who come on the voyage as individuals. They're not group travel voyages. These are voyages of like-minded people travelling together and exploring in their own individual way.
I love that line from Greg Mortimer, because we do have group pricing, but it's going to be such a personalized experience. You have so many choices, so many different ways that you can experience Antarctica when you come along with Aurora Expeditions. And we'd love to have you join us. We're going to go open it up to any questions we might have now. I'll go ahead and stop sharing my screen. If we have any questions, we'll go ahead and answer those.
Well, don't ask a question, you'll have to unmute yourself.
Okay, well, that's fine. Let's go
Anything
ahead
else
and
you want to add, Bonnie?
Yeah, what do you have to add?
No, I mean, I would love to go on this trip with you. It's a fantastic trip. It goes past the Antarctic Circle, so it's a very unique itinerary. The time of the year is also amazing because the whales are really, really active that time of year. So I'm sure you're going to see a lot of them.
Well, I'm excited. So again, we want to thank everyone who joined us live, and those of you watching the recording. We're looking forward to hearing from you and hopefully getting a room on hold or getting some pricing available to you for the room you're looking for. So thank you so much, and